Hey everyone, my name is Eddie Mattout. I am 20 years old and I served in the Army from November 2015 until May 2017. I'll start by telling you guys a bit about why I chose to serve in the Army. So when I was a junior in high school, I went off to a volunteering program in Israel called Kol Hanarim that basically brought high school kids to run summer camps for Israeli youth at risk and orphans. I got more and more involved in the organization over time, and when I was a senior in high school, ready to go to college, I said if I ever want to understand the kids that I work with and Israeli society in general, and ultimately just be part of the Jewish story, I had to do the Army. So I took 2 years off, deferred my college enrollment, and went off to Israel. I joined the Nachal Brigade for the first 8 months of my service, which is a combat infantry unit, and then went off to the International Relations Unit, Kishrei Chutz, where for 4 months I worked with UNIFIL soldiers, which are the United Nations peacekeeping soldiers in the north in Lebanon, and then went off to work with the Latin American military attachés in Israel and use my Spanish skills to communicate with them. I think when I look back on and think what were the most challenging moments, overall I think it just stemmed from the fact that it was a new country, a new place, and a completely new culture. I came from Brooklyn, from a comfortable life where everybody knew each other, everybody was really close, and the Army was just not like that at first. It took adjusting to Israeli culture, me getting used to not having my family around at all times. But ultimately, Israel's amazing, and people take you in, and there's really a lot of effort put into taking care of lone soldiers, which just really made me appreciate the country more. In terms of thinking about my love for Israel, I think the community had a huge part in developing that. I wouldn't have heard of Kol Hanarim if it weren't for our community, and there is just this constant emphasis in the community of giving back, and I think that was ingrained in me very well. And ultimately the Army is a form of giving back. So the community had a huge part in making me who I am and my decision to ultimately serve in the Army. In terms of meaningful moments, there's one that particularly stands out. So during my hashba'ah, which is the swearing in ceremony that happens around 2 months after your start of training, there's a big tekes, a ceremony, and my parents came, which was absolutely spectacular, and I think over 50 of my friends were there cheering us on, which was just unbelievable, feeling at times that you're in a completely different world than anyone who you knew in the past, but ultimately realizing that we're all in this together, it's one big game and one big family. It was a really special moment. In terms of inspiration, during the Army, most of my inspiration definitely came from my family. I would speak to my mom on a daily basis, and it would just be constant reassurance that my family was still there, still behind me, and just pushing me through it. Other than that, I think the children that I worked with in the summer were hugely inspiring, just thinking that they'll be there one day, and everyone in Israel will be there one day, so why can't I be there too? Now that I am done with the Army and I'm a student, it's really nice to reflect on my time in the military, and I can only say how beneficial it was, just in developing a certain lifestyle, a certain state of mind, a certain discipline, which I don't think I would have developed in other places, and ultimately just seeing the big things in life. At school, definitely people get caught up in really small details, whether it's a grade, and I fall into it too. But once you're in the Army, you're exposed to all sorts of individuals from all sorts of backgrounds, from all parts of the country, who've gone through much greater and bigger and harder things that the things you're probably going through in college. So it's been really humbling to be part of the military. It's given me a lot of perspective, and ultimately been super beneficial towards my development.